Jonathan. We got some special content today. This is actually we decided to record episode 2 off schedule because from our last episode we could not run our pipelines automatically, and we had to get request from Microsoft to allow us some free agents to be able to run our pipelines. And guess what? That's right. We finally got them. That's right. So yeah, this is pretty exciting. And I mean, I think you're gonna see us out of uniform. I'm not wearing the road to code.
Oh yeah, we're not wearing our shirts.
Yeah, we're not wearing our shirts today. So it just goes to show. And I'm not at home. I'm actually at work. And yeah, a little secret location, an unknown location out in some warehouse somewhere. So it just goes to show I'm a real employee. I work for a company and I do programming for them. And then the way that I do the programming that I want to do is I get together with you and Gerard and you know we do stuff on the side. And so yeah, this was one of those cases where I was kind of bummed with episode 1 that we didn't get to show off the automated build. I mean, that's really the power of Azure, is that whole automated process, you know. So if you, why don't you go ahead and share your screen and let's go over to dev.azure.com. So the dev.azure.com takes us to the organization, the road to code, the R2C, and we're going to click on the Zignificant project. And that project is where we have our Git repo. Just a little reminder from episode 1, right? If we go to repos, it'll show that we have our repository there, just like we would have in Git, except, and this is exactly the same, it works the same way as it works in GitHub. It is a public repo, so if you want to go to our repository, we'll include it in the description. The link will be in description. You can download and progress as we move on with it. But what we're interested today is the pipelines. So if you go down to the pipelines and you go ahead and click on the Zignificant. Yeah, here they are. So what we want to do is we want to go through and run the pipeline. So let's go ahead and run the pipeline. And we want to run it against the main branch, because the main branch is the branch that we're going to be committing all our code into. And when we have new commits, we want this pipeline to run automatically. So let's go ahead and hit run down at the bottom. And you'll notice that we have this little job. And so let's go ahead and click on the little blue circle. And let's wait for this job to run. At least we're not getting that red circle saying, hey, you have no more free agents. Here, we're basically waiting for an agent to come around so that it can run our pipeline. These agents actually take up resources at Microsoft. But once an agent becomes available, then our job runs. And it is a fairly low priority agent. So it's not going to run with the highest priorities. But once it gets going, it actually runs pretty quickly. It goes through and begins the installation process. And yeah, so we can go through all the steps that we need to go through in a moment. We'll talk through them so that people understand what's going on in each one of these commands that it's running. And
no,
failed. Okay, so how do we know what failed, right? How do we know what went wrong? So what we need to do is we need to go into that, click on that NuGet get command. And you see the red, it actually tells you, it's like, hey, this is failing, right? So let's scoot over to the right and let's see what the message is. At the bottom, you see the scroll bar on the bottom. Yeah, here we go. So the current .NET SDK support targeting 6.0. So let's see, go down further. Go to the right further. Okay. So let's grab the let's grab the verbiage portion of that. Let's go ahead and scroll a little bit to the, oh, actually, yeah, scroll a little bit to the left. And let's grab, nah, that's too much. So you see where it starts with either target .NET 5 or use a version of that supports 6.0. Yeah, so highlight that part. And let's plug that into a search engine. Oh, Stack Overflow, the third one. Let's go see what that does. And so this is the same problem that the person's having, right? It's the same exact message. And this is a question. The very first one is a question that he posted. Let's scroll down and look at this. The one with the little green check mark is the solution. So what they're saying is that in our task, we need to indicate that we need the version 6.0.x.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the automated feature of adding that command, the one that says task use .NET 2. Let's go over to Edge and go ahead and go into Significant and go and edit the pipeline. Add a new line after 17. Okay, so what happens is that where your cursor is at is where we're going to insert a command. So you see on the right hand side where it says tasks, there's a whole list of them. So in here, what we're going to do is we're going to choose a command, and according to them, the command that we need to add is use .NET. Oh, use .NET Core. You see where it's at the bottom. So click on that one. And so let's go ahead and go with the SDK runtime. Let's go ahead and SDK. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and put version 6.0.x. And let's go ahead and click on the include preview versions. Yep, that's it. I think we should be good with that. We don't need to run anything else. Go ahead and add that. See how it added it?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of cool, huh? And let's leave it, let's put a blank line at the end of that command. Oh, you just Control Z because you had it highlighted. It highlights it for you. Okay, cool. And let's get rid of those spaces, those trailing spaces on line 23. YAML is very specific. So we need a blank line, but we don't need those spaces. It's really weird. It's like, you know, this online editor that they have, it kind of helps you, but it also gets in your way in some cases. So let's go ahead and save this.
Save. Whoops. Oh no. Stay.
And let's go ahead and save it. So this right here, you'll notice that it's going to commit it to your main branch.
Okay.
So now it's committed to your main branch. Just go ahead and run it. And run it. And then let's go and click on that little blue dot. Oh, look at this. It picked it up right away. Oh, it's actually waiting. Potential agents are running other requests. Does it give you a position? Can you scroll over to your right? Oh, you're next in the queue.
All right.
So we just need to wait for an agent to become available. You may be paying for the whole seat, but you only need the edge of it. This is about the only thing that's bad about running free agents.
Gotta wait in line. Oh, I think it moved. Oh, there we go.
There it goes. All right. It's going to go and use the new latest and greatest .NET. So remember, what's happening here is that it's building a brand new Windows machine. It's a virtual machine that it's building. And so when we tell it to go and use .NET 6, it needs to go and install .NET 6 on the machine in order to run the build. So each one of these steps is basically a step for building the machine that is going to run the build on your code.
Oh.
Hey, the VS build failed. So remember, new errors just means progress. So let's go look at what we got in there. So what we're looking for is some red writing on the wall. Ooh, here we go. So that's, what's the error number on that? What's the CS number if you scroll to the right?
I don't see a CS error.
Scroll to the left. Oh, there we go. See where it says error right on the right of your screen? And it starts with CS. Look at the right of your screen where it starts error.
Oh, okay. There it is.
Yeah. What is that CS error? 8652. Okay, so let's grab from the error.
Goes so fast. Hold on.
I know.
All right. Until
all the way to language version. Yep, copy that. And let's paste that into Chrome and see what kind of answers Chrome gives us. Come on, Chrome. Bring up the good stuff. Oh, look at Stack Overflow right at the top. Stack Overflow is my favorite site, I gotta admit. So here it's saying that we got unsupported preview of the next C# version. Let's scroll down a little bit. And let's see if there's one with a check mark that has the answer. I think, okay, so this is actually talking about trying to build on your machine. I think what we need to do is we need to go back to the search and we need to add Azure, Azure pipeline. Let's see what that gives us. There, let's look at that first one. Let's see what that gives us. Oh, look at that. At the time of this writing, the vmImage, remember I told you that it's building a brand new machine? So it's grabbing the image and it's saying that we're currently, what vmImage are we using? If you go back to Edge and just look at our pipeline, let's open up and edit our pipeline. So we have the Windows latest. So let's go look at Chrome and let's go look at what they're recommending. It's saying, so at the time of this writing, the vmImage, it's Windows latest, does not default to Windows 22. So we update our vmImage like this. Let's scroll down a little bit. And so what they're saying is that they basically create hard-coded 2022. So they're using Windows 2022. You see how it says pool image Windows 2022? Let's go look at ours, see what it looks like. So pool vmImage and let's put 2022 instead of latest.
Save.
And run it. But this is some pretty cool stuff, huh?
Yeah.
This is like real world here. I've been checking the build every day. You know how you gave me access? So I've been checking it every day and just going through it. And I was like, man, it's like I gotta get this thing. Hopefully they give us access soon.
Yeah, it's crazy how it takes like 3 days for the approval.
Yeah. You can imagine how many people they're getting though. I mean, they're probably getting a lot of people requesting it. And so they got to go and validate. So they got to have somebody actually look through the source code. And so now we watch it build now that the agent is actually running. And once again, it's building a machine from scratch. It's installing a specific image that we told it. In this case, it's building on a Windows 2022 machine. It's installing version 6 of the .NET framework. It installs the tools for NuGet to go and pick up all the packages for NuGet itself for the project. And then it goes through the build and This is where the build failed last time, right?
Hmm.
So now it should succeed because we're running on a later version of a Windows virtual machine build. Oh, and then it needs to run npm install on your project, and that takes a while to run.
Yep.
Oh, and then it runs the production version of your site. So it basically compiles everything into just a couple of files instead of having all these different files on your machine or for the deployment. It
Hmm.
actually has like maybe like an HTML file, one JavaScript file, and then a couple other files just as a way of packaging up on stuff. So we have a task for test, but we currently don't have any tests right now. And it's something that I do want to start in this season is start to do some testing. But at this point, we have a successful build.
Nice.
So let's go and open up um, Visual Studio and open up your project. Not Visual Studio Code. Yeah, you could do it in Visual Studio. Well, you're still going to need Visual Studio 2022 as well. And go into Git and grab the latest. So you can go ahead and, oh, do you have some stuff that you need to check in? Oh, you know what? We It's okay. What we could do, go ahead and you can go and grab the latest. So go on, do a pull. Should be able to grab the latest without any problems. And then let's go ahead and do a commit. But before we do a commit, let's go into Visual Studio Code and make a change to the homepage.
Okay.
And let's add to, go ahead and maximize this window. You see where it says, welcome to your new single page application.
Hmm.
Let's change that to say, welcome to our working pipeline built with, and that's fine. You can leave the rest of it in there. Welcome to our working pipeline. All right, let's go ahead and save this and let's push our changes.
All right. We do it from here, right?
Correct, yeah. Put a comment in there. Won't let you push unless you put a comment. So this is modifications after fixing the pipeline, after fixing the build pipeline. All right, let's go over to Edge.
Edge.
And let's go to pipelines. And look at that, it's running already.
Whoa.
Go ahead and click in there and click on the little blue dot.
This one?
Yep. Yeah, it's running. Look at that. The agent was available. Agent Smith running the pipeline. So the reason I wanted to go through the painful process of these errors is because a week ago, I was rehearsing this pipeline on my own Azure account. And I ran into a completely different set of errors, Jonathan.
Okay.
Some of them were the same, others were different. What's funny is that as these errors come up, Microsoft is behind the scenes fixing these problems. So the next time we come through, we may not even need to, the next time we build a pipeline, we may not even have to specify that we want a Windows 22 machine. They might have already defaulted to that. So I wanted to go and show how we figured out these errors, because somebody watching this video, they may not get the same errors. They may need to go and highlight that the red errors prefixed in Chrome or at Google, prefix it with Azure build pipelines, and then paste that error at the tail end and go and read to see what needs to get done, right? The important thing is realize where these commands go. and they give you examples of where the commands go. But here we have a working pipeline. And in the future, they may just go and say, hey, build me a new pipeline, and boom, we're done. It doesn't come up with any errors, and they're good to go. Doesn't always work that way. But hopefully in the future, whoever is watching this video, building their pipeline, and they're running into these exact same errors, at least they'll see how we're fixing it and how we're troubleshooting the problem. So that's why I didn't want to go and just give you the whole recipe for this, because I was like, yeah, it's not going to work, and so it's better just to kind of walk through the process, walk through the debugging portion. And debugging the problem is where you really do learn. And so even I ended up learning something as I'm troubleshooting the problem. We have a completely set of different problems here at work, and we get completely different problems. Some of them a little bit more tougher than others, but yeah, we see problems here all the time. All right, so that was successful. So let's go look at the website. So open up a new tab, and let's go to portal.
Okay.
All right, so let's go to the Zignificant app service, and let's click on that. Ooh, yay, they gave you $200. Look at that. So let's go click on the URL over on the right where it says URL. Yep, right there. So what's the homepage supposed to say?
Welcome to our, it didn't update it yet.
It didn't update it. Well, the reason it didn't update it, Jonathan, is because we don't have a release pipeline built yet. And so what we need to do, let's go back to DevOps or Dev. What we need to do is we need to do a couple things. The first thing that we need to do is all we've done is just build the solution. Build and nothing else. What we need to do is we actually need to publish the solution. But we need to not just publish the solution, we need to publish the artifacts. In other words, once it compiles it, it packages it up, and it needs to put it into a particular place where the release pipeline can then pick it up. All right. So let's go and edit our pipeline. Okay, and let's go to the bottom of the pipeline. After, give me a blank line after that. And let's go over to the right, and let's look for, there you go. You see that first one that says .NET Core, build, test, or publish? I think that's it, right? Yeah, so on the dropdown, instead of a build, let's do a publish. And we're going to publish the red project, and the arguments. Do we have any arguments? Yeah, so the arguments are a little weird. I'm gonna dictate them to you, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and put -- configuration. And then we're going to put a space and then a $sign. And we're going to open and close parentheses. And inside those parentheses, we're going to do one word is going to be build configuration, lowercase b, uppercase c configuration. So yeah, so these are variables that are available within this particular environment. And you can see that we're using it on line 35 and on line 40. See how they're using those variables?
Okay.
Yeah. So outside those parentheses, we want to add another argument. So we're going to put space, -- and we're going to put in one word called output, all lowercase. And then we're going to do the space, $sign. And we're going to do the open close parentheses once again. And inside those, we are going to put in lowercase build dot. And this is going to be in proper casing. So you're going to capitalize the first letter of each word, but it's going to be all one word. It's going to be artifact staging directory.
Staging what?
Directory. All right. I think, so we're going to zip it after we publish it. That should be good. Go ahead and just click on add. Look at that. It adds all that for you.
Wow.
It's a beautiful thing. So, I mean, we can hand code all this stuff, but there's a helper, to build all this stuff, so let's take advantage of it, right? We just need to type very little instead of having to type all this. We got one more task that we need to add. And so let's go ahead and go to the end and add a new line. All right. So here, the new one that we're gonna add, let's look for something called publish. Is it publish? Publish build artifacts. Yeah, so look at this. It's reusing some of the variables, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't that look familiar? The artifact name, we're going to go ahead and call it drop. And the publication, instead of the Azure pipeline, maybe it is Azure pipeline. That's fine. You can go ahead and just leave it as Azure pipeline. And let's go ahead and click on add. I think we just need to add it and we should be done. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this one, we didn't even have to change anything. It utilized the variables that we used previously. And these are just, and this is readily available. We can go to the documentation. I just happen to know them, but for anybody else that wants to know what other variables are available, you can go and actually look up all the variables. There's a ton of them, and don't memorize them. Don't bother learning what each one of them does. It's a waste of time. As you do some searching on Google or whatever your favorite search engine is for a particular problem that you're experiencing, and a variable comes up, then you go look at it and see what it does. In the meantime, we just do what we need to do, and that's it. So let's go ahead and click on save on that. Oh. And yeah, go ahead and save. Excellent. We're not going to run this. Well, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and run it. Let's make sure that this is working. Now that this is done, we still haven't published our changes. All we've done is prepared it, and we said, hey, go and build a production build and then go put it somewhere where we can go and take it and publish it. So what we need to do is we need to go into releases now. On the left, yep. And we want to build a new pipeline. So this is going to be an Azure app service deployment. So go ahead and apply that. And this is fine. So it's just, in fact, let's rename that stage 1 to deploy. Yep. And then you don't have to change, you don't have to save. You can just go ahead and hit the X over on the right side. All right, so a couple of things we need to do here. The first thing we need to do is click, can you click on one job, one task? Click in there. Yeah, in here, deploy. We got to choose our Azure subscription. So go down arrow, click the down arrow right there. And you only got one subscription, right? So let's highlight that bottom one. In some cases, click authorize. Okay, so what's happening is that this needs to be able to authorize. So in other words, you hit authorize, it's giving it access to go and publish it to the web application that we built over in the portal. So go ahead and click on authorize. Put in your super secret username and password. All right, so that is authorizing. Give it a second there. It's configuring the service connection.
Okay.
All right. It is an app on Windows. And the app service name. So let's click on that down arrow again. And it's Zignificant. So that's the name of the resource that we created over on the portal. So let's go ahead and save. Let's go to, let's see here. That is that one. Let's go click on Run Agent. The second one, the second box in the center.
This one?
Yep. And let's see here. So we're going to run an agent. It is going to be the Azure pipelines, and we are running Visual Studio 2017 on Windows 2016. I think we're good on that. Go ahead and click on the Deploy Azure App Service. And in here, okay, so we have the Deploy Azure App Service. The Azure Resource Manager is fine. Your Azure subscription, your Windows Significant. I think all this is fine. Yeah, let's go ahead and save this and hit OK. That's fine. And then let's go back into the release itself. And go ahead and click on the folder. You see the folder? Yep. And click on that new, go ahead and click on edit, the new release pipeline. We should probably rename that. Can you rename that? Yeah, hit that little pencil and call it, let's call this Zignificant deployment. You could just leave it all as one word. Cool. Save that. And go ahead and save it. Very cool. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go into the you see the little lightning bolt and the little man?
Oh, yeah.
Right there. Click on that. In here, this is going to be, I don't think we need to do anything in here. It's just after release. Yeah, I don't think we need to do anything in here. Let's go and click on the add an artifact. See that empty box on the left-hand side? Right there. You went over it. Cool. Oh, right there. Yeah. So in here, what we're going to want to do is we want to run the project. The project is Zignificant. And then let's go and click on Zignificant again. Build. Yeah, we're going to run the latest version. Yeah, that's fine. Latest version. And the source alias is Zignificant. And let's go ahead and click on add right there. And then what we want to do is we want to go ahead and click on that little lightning bolt. You see the light? Yeah, that one right there. And in here, let's see, we want to enable it. So let's go ahead and enable the trigger. And this, we want to add a type. Go ahead. Is it branch filter? Yeah, you can go ahead and click on branch filter and select your branch, include, and then the center one is going to be the main branch. So you see where it says main? There's no build tags. I think we should be good. Let's go ahead and I think we just close this. I think that's it. Go ahead and save this and okay. And go ahead and create a release. And go ahead and select the, go ahead and create. Oh, release 1 has been created. So click on that release 1. Go ahead and close that. And you see where it says queued? Hover over deploy.
Oh.
And go to the logs.
Logs.
And now this is going to be deploying.
Whoa.
Let's see if it works. Don't count your chickens yet until the chickens hatch. Till the eggs hatch. Is that what he's supposed to say?
Something like that.
Something to that effect. Whoa, it actually worked.
Whoa.
Let's go to the third tab. Let's go to your application. You see the third tab? Your third tab up on your browser.
Oh. Hold on.
And refresh this. We should see the new message after.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so let's go back to Visual Studio for a moment. And let's watch this whole thing work from front to back. Go to Visual Studio Code and let's just welcome to our working automated pipeline. Let's just go ahead and add automated pipeline in there. And let's save this and go ahead and push. You may have to go get your latest, get the latest. So do a pull. And then full automated pipeline working as a comment. And let's go ahead and commit and push. And let's go over to dev.azure.com. Your first one.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go over to pipelines. And let's go watch that thing build. Go ahead and click on that little blue clock. Oh, looks like it picked it up right away. We didn't have to wait that long. But through the magic of video editing, we don't have to go through the painful process of watching it build. I'm wondering if it's going to be safe to remove both the VS build and the test. That probably would accelerate our build significantly.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's running the build twice. Once when it runs the VS build and the other one when it runs the .NET Core CLI. It does it for, it's doing the exact same thing. Oh,
all right.
So, all right, let's go over to releases. And you see where it says deploy, click on that. And now it's running the release.
Oh, wow.
Does it automatically. Okay, now let's go to your Zignificant web app and refresh. And success. So
automated.
In the interest of time and not to bore everybody, through another build, we're basically going to remove the VS build and the VS test task in our build, and that will save us a significant amount of time in our build. But essentially, that's how you would automate a build using Microsoft Azure. And now we can go on with our future episodes and begin to make changes to our application. And every time we commit our change, it's going to go ahead and just publish the latest changes to the site that we have hosted on Azure.
Nice.
Pretty cool stuff, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, this wraps it up for episode 2. Until next time.
Peace out.